African American women's impact during the Harlem Renaissance. The Harlem Renaissance was a period in U.S. history where African American culture grew and thrived. Taking place mostly during the 1920s, the cultural activity that was involved included art, fashion, music, theater, politics, and dance. Today we will be focusing on the achievements that were made by African American women during this time. There are three major aspects that I like to consider when discussing African American women's impact in the 1920s and what made them so influential. And the three are style, music, and art. First, we will begin with style and fashion. The clothing style of women was very different in the 1920s. They wore higher hemlines, which was thought to be rebellious at the time. Lower cut necklines and padded shoulder suits were also very common during this era. The dresses were also loose, which allowed for better movement during dancing. Ribbons and wide belts were also some accessories that were worn along with sparkly brooches and fur collars. As you can see on the left image, there are women wearing fur coats, and the fur was obviously not seen around that often at that time, being worn by African American women. Um, but they started to make it more common as they began wearing it more in the 1920s, and it was seen as comfort clothing, which wasn't highly regarded. And the images on the right show sparkling dresses and just women showing off their luxuries that they have, such as in the middle photo, just all the chains that are around her neck and large necklaces. Uh, the impact of this was that women were finally able to express who they are. The themes of this clothing emphasized the rejection of constant formality. Women were finally able to let their hair down and wear what they truly wanted to wear. The new style of clothing emphasized comfort rather than constant discomfort that women suffered from for centuries. The next topic I would like to discuss is music. As for jazz, it was extremely popular during this time in the United States. It was the first music to blend the culture of African Americans with the current state that America was in. So I blend the culture of African Americans with the state of America. One artist that comes to mind when discussing jazz music is Blanche Calloway. She led an orchestra of entirely men and was the first to do so. When it came to women performing music, many were discouraged, but it was especially tough when other women would discourage other women. This was the case for Blanche, as her mother said it was not a suitable occupation for women to have. Not only was she talented at singing, but she was also a civil rights activist and a member of the Congress of Racial Equality. A fun fact about her is that she was even thought to be the first woman to vote in the state of Florida. Blues music was also on the rise as well. Ma Rainey, in particular, was a very popular artist during this time. She laid the foundation for many, many artists to come. Her lyrics were always heartfelt and bold. She had a great audience of all types of people and all different kinds of background. She wore rhinestones and bracelets and string upon strings of necklaces, diamonds on her neck and arms. She was for her to say that she doesn't like any men was also incredibly bold, and it speaks to her character. She was not only afraid to describe her feelings and to showcase the way she felt about race discrimination.